Welcome back to the big room. 2 episodes in a row. Can you believe it?
Wow, that hasn't happened in a month.
It's like we're actually back.
We are.
We're so
For now.
back. This week we watched a movie that's older than my parents.
Oh.
It is called Breakfast at Tiffany. It stars Audrey Hepburn, and it was released on October 5th, 1961.
Oh.
Had a budget of $2.5 million, and it made 14.
Okay.
Pretty good return.
Pretty good.
People liked Breakfast at Tiffany's. It was directed by Blake Edwards, whose other notable film, at least to me, was Pink Panther, 1963's Pink Panther.
Oh, wow.
Ba-dum, et cetera, et cetera. I want to talk at first a little bit about the novel that this is based on. The book, if you will, which is also called Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Oh.
It was written by Truman Capote. Hope I'm saying that right. The novel was written... Okay, so it's a little bit different than the movie. A little bit different. And it had to be... The movie had to be changed for narrative purposes because the novel was written from the perspective of an unnamed narrator, which the movie replaced with the character of Paul Varjak. So in the book, there's no Varjak. In the book, the narrator is experiencing the story as Paul Varjak, but without a name.
Okay, so he exists.
Holly lives, he lives in the same apartment as Holly, and he gets to know her.
Okay,
and
so
blah,
the
blah, blah.
character exists. It's just not. He's
not named.
Okay.
Gotcha.
But if you go to pick up the book, just you're reading it, and the narrator who you're reading it as is Paul Varjak. You can kind of put him in that place. The novel also ends a little more ambiguously. It wraps up as Holly, like she does get arrested for the whatever
Sally Tomato. Sally Tomato.
Yep.
I think it is.
Deal. And then that fella Jose, whatever his face is, that she's gonna marry in Brazil. He does write a letter being like, "Hey, you got arrested, so
Yeah. It's not a good look.
She dumps Kat, bones out, and that's the end of the book.
No.
So,
Wow.
the book ends with she releases Kat, departs for Brazil without Jose, and leaves a short note for the narrator who just hopes that she's found a place that feels like home, and then the book ends.
I don't like that. I'd be
Oh,
pissed.
wow.
But isn't that more bookish?
Not
more
necessarily.
bookish.
Books can
More
have
inside
happy
Llewyn
endings.
Davis-ish.
Yeah.
I wanted to... You bring a good point, because Inside Llewyn Davis also has kind of a flighty, unestablished,
Yeah.
main
Flighty's a
character.
good word.
It involves a cat.
Yeah. Same color cat even.
So, do you have were you thinking of Inside Llewyn Davis when we watched this, or
A
beyond
little
the
bit, yeah.
superficial-
Like just in that she doesn't seem like she's really gonna get or find what she's looking for.
yeah,
Like I think she's always gonna kind of go wanting.
right.
Yeah.
This was your suggestion, I believe, for the book.
Yeah, I think so.
What?
yeah.
What? Why?
I
Not
just
ac-
knew it
not
was like an
accusatorily.
iconic movie.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
like I didn't know anything about the movie. I just knew that it was like one that you probably should watch. And I was like, well, let's do it. Let's watch it. So I tried to add it. Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact,
And I liked it a lot.
when you first said
I was-
Breakfast at Tiffany's last week, I was imagining Breakfast Club.
Okay.
Oh.
That's how much I didn't know about this movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely not the same.
Nope.
Very different.
So you said you liked it,
Yeah.
Carl. You're satisfied.
I
with your
did, yeah.
choice. What about
But it is a weird movie. Like
It
I
is
couldn't
weird.
I couldn't tell if it was like satire. Like, are we supposed to want to be her? Is it a cautionary tale? Like they kind of do a weird tightrope walk where you're like, you kind of want to be her and you're kind of like, oh, I don't think I should be her.
Yeah, like she
Like-
comes across almost as ditzy. And I said flighty
Yeah.
earlier, and and she is kind of because she's
She's almost like
A
the
little naive.
yeah.
yeah. She's like the precursor to like the manic pixie dream girl. Like a little
Yeah.
bit, like kind of.
Accidentally being a mouthpiece
Yeah.
for the mob.
I think part of that is the way Audrey is because of who Audrey Hepburn is and her just persona through all of her movies. So I think I was reading this one article about the movie that because of who she is, that you automatically assign a little bit more class and a little bit more glamour to Holly than you would have if somebody else was playing her.
Speaking of that,
Does she always kind of play these kind of roles? This is the only thing I've ever seen her in.
I've
Same,
seen
same.
a few. Yeah, she's always a little bit kind of naive. I say always. I've seen 3 or 4 Audrey Hepburn movies. She's always a little bit naive, the doe-eyed, protagonist. She's always kind of, getting swept up by a man a little bit, having a bit of an adventure. So I feel like this is her most iconic role. Though.
I did read that she was afraid of taking this role because she wasn't sure she could play an overtly extroverted character. Like she had to work towards that, which is interesting. You,
she nailed it.
You brought up the casting, which Audrey was. So the author Capote was involved in the casting, and his number one choice was Marilyn Monroe for Holly Golightly.
That would have changed the vibe significantly.
Significantly.
Yeah.
Now I've not seen anything with Marilyn in it, but just knowing like from JFK and also like just her kind of how she's portrayed in the cultural zeitgeist, I get more of like a Who Framed Roger Rabbit-y kind of like.
Well, she's like a bombshell,
which
sexy
is
bombshell.
Which is very interesting.
She's like the overt sexual icon, right? Like,
right, and she being Marilyn Monroe was cautioned against taking this role. She turned it down for a movie called The Misfits, and she was advised that playing a quote lady of the evening would be bad for her image, which is hilarious to me because that's kind of her image.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
not that she's a prostitute, but it's kind of, she's sex personified.
Yeah.
It's the skirt on the vent.
The
It's the
tight,
red lipstick.
yeah, it's very
Yeah,
tight.
yeah.
It's a little busty.
She's like, if lipstick was a person, it's Marilyn
Ooh,
Monroe.
it's Marilyn Monroe.
And Audrey Hepburn, I just kind of have this more like teacup on a saucer, pearls,
Yeah. She's
black,
she's more mousy, more polite. Yeah.
Gloves
Yeah.
kind of deal. And I don't get any of that.
Delicate.
Marilyn Monroe is like kissing soldiers after the war in the street to me. Like, I don't know. So it's very funny that it was like she was cautioned against doing a role that kind of would have fit quite well,
Yeah.
at least in how we think of Marilyn. We, as in the four people in this room, at least think of Marilyn Monroe. The four people in this room, the 3.5 people.
3.5.
Carl, you're just here.
I'm there in
to-
spirit.
you
Yeah.
are. Knocked a cable down that we don't even need. So that was an interesting one. And then Capote, the studio Paramount, ended up casting Audrey Hepburn. She was like their third or fourth choice.
It's crazy.
But she
And-
wasn't a big name at this point.
I was gonna
or
say,
was
was
she?
I have no idea. I don't know anything about Audrey.
You want to keep talking? I think she had done
yes.
some movies.
Go ahead. I have a question about you and Audrey in a minute.
Wasn't
but-
her breakout?
So
Okay.
obviously she gets cast by Paramount. Capote was furious
Boo.
with her
Really?
casting. Furious. He was quoting as saying, quote, "Paramount double-crossed me in every way and cast Audrey." Which is
So
just
dramatic.
a little bit
Double crossed
extreme
me
to
in
me.
every way.
Double-crossed me in
Okay, yeah,
every
she
way.
was really well known at this point.
Really?
I think.
Yeah, because if he had that
Let's see,
strong of an
1, 2, 3,
opinion,
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. She had done like 14 or 16 movies.
dang.
But this
Wow.
this is what you
Several
say
big
she's
ones.
known for? Or
I think this was definitely one of her bigger ones.
what are the other big ones?
There's one called Roman Holiday, which
I've heard
I've
of that.
seen. It's very cute. There's one called Funny Face, which
Yes.
is her and Fred Astaire.
That was 1958, I think.
Yes.
That's a name I know.
He's big and he's another dancer.
1957, excuse me. That movie will come up later.
There's one with Humphrey Bogart, right?
Yes, that is Sabrina.
I've heard of that too.
1954. We almost put that on one night and we
Yeah.
switched to something else for some
I
reason.
believe was that when we watched Take Me Out to the Ball Game with Sinatra?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think we pivoted for a Sinatra movie.
Was it Sinatra and Bing Crosby, right?
Yes.
That movie, not
fine.
great, but it was fun.
It's fun.
Which is a point that we had differing things to say after we watched this movie last night. Her and I had watched it at the Marion Theater downtown, which is a local theater we have that just shows kind of older movies at times. Hi, Forrest. And we did that last year.
Yep.
Right? We walked through
Yeah,
the
at some
rain,
point last year.
I believe.
Which
Oh,
is-
it rained. That's perfect.
I know,
It
right?
was brilliant. And we got a little movie theater cocktail and some popcorn, and we watched this.
Nice.
And then I was gobsmacked by Mickey Rooney's character, the runner, which we're going to talk about because, wow. So we watched that last summer. I don't remember. Late enough in the year to where it was raining all the bloody time. And I really enjoyed it. And then we watched it last night, and I didn't as much. So I think for me, and you had the opposite.
I did.
So I think for me, a lot of the charm, I've said 1,000 times that I really like these older films, especially the black and white, the late 40s, early 50s, your Casablancas and whatnot. I really like older movies. Once. Now, I like Casablanca I liked that movie on subsequent viewings, but I think part of it is for me is it's that initial charm of, oh, it's old and it's charming and the music's groovy and all these actors are dead, but they're looking how cool they are.
Not
And then
necessarily the setting of a theater.
well, that played a role in it too, but there's
We've
also, like,
watched a
for
lot.
example, Guys and Dolls, a movie
Yeah.
that we watched for the show last year that we realized sucks, but I really liked it the first time we watched it.
Same with High Society.
That was High
That's what I
Society.
mean. High Society, sorry. Guys and Dolls.
We watched that one too.
We watched that once and then went, that sucks.
Yeah, we didn't like Guys.
That's just not a good movie.
That's enough.
That one's Marlon Brando, The Godfather, and Frank Sinatra, and they hated each other. Well, Sinatra hated Marlon Brando, and you gotta tell. But I think on subsequent viewings, when that kind of sheen is gone, they're like, "Oh, isn't old stuff cool?" I was just like, there's
interesting,
there's a
'cause,
house
yeah,
party and some cats."
I haven't rewatched anything that we've watched.
Yeah.
So I wonder if I'd have the same, like for Citizen Kane, does
Right.
that have the same effect on a second view?
Probably not.
I watched this movie in the like polar opposite way that you did, with like the
Watched
mood,
it on a laptop in
with
a
the
room with no
moody movie
furniture.
theater. Worse.
Worse.
On your
So-
phone while driving.
So last night I ended up driving to Orlando. Went to IKEA, bought a desk. It was a whole thing.
Have you heard of the internet?
Yeah, no, I wanted to go look at them.
All right, that's fair. That's fair.
Anyways,
Old school.
it took like 4 hours to get there and back. I'm carrying all these heavy boxes up the stairs. My back is killing me. So like, I don't want to sit on the couch and watch this. I don't want to sit in my computer chair and watch this. So I grabbed the VR headset
Oh my god.
and
Are
laid
you
down on my
kidding me?
bed, facing the ceiling, and put on Amazon Prime and watched this
That is sacrilege.
entire movie.
I want
Oh
you
my
to
God.
experience breakfast
was-
at Tiffany's.
It was
That's
just
so
a
funny.
complete black void with a floating screen. in
Okay,
front
that's
of
what
me.
I was going to
Yeah.
ask.
Oh my
I have
God.
follow-up questions. So you didn't
Oh my
choose a
God.
virtual theater.
They didn't have any. Freaking Prime.
Okay. So Blackfoot, was it curved at all?
Nope.
So just literally rectangle. It's as if
Floating
you
in
had
front of me.
How was that like pixel quality?
That's insane.
It was actually really good. I don't know, like,
I bet film grain helps maybe a little bit.
maybe.
Yeah. This was also where did we had to rent it on Google, and it was an appreciated instance of this wasn't an upscaled
No.
crappy.
I thought it looked
frosty face
really
remake.
pretty.
It
Like,
looked great.
Yeah.
She still was glowing in
Technicolor.
certain scenes. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of
The
the
eyes
first.
are
Yeah, I
that scary
noticed-
blue.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I noticed a couple
It's
scenes
impossibly
felt
blue.
like really hazy,
Uh-huh.
but that probably wasn't a VR thing. It was probably just the actual film.
Yeah, just a room full of cigarette smoke
Yeah.
in the parties. Yeah.
I will say
so
it
much
was a little
smoking.
close. Like, I wish I could have pushed it farther away from me in
Yeah.
VR, but it wasn't
That
a
is-
terrible experience.
That's insane.
You were not joking when you said the exact opposite experience
exact
that
opposite.
Danielle and I had at the theater.
It's crazy.
Making this movie, they never could have imagined
No.
someone watching this movie that way for the first time.
One day, someone will strap this to their face, see, and they'll watch it in a void, see.
They tired after a day
magical
of travel and
theater.
moving boxes.
They'll go to a great shopping center in a city far away, see. Bring back a desk, strap it to your face, and watch it in bed when you hurt your back.
He can use an app to see it in his room, but he doesn't. He wants to see it in person. He's old school.
Hey, it's a little too close. You won't be able to push it back. Technology is not a miracle, folks.
Oh,
God.
God.
Oh man. Okay, but you had the opposite. You liked it
Yes.
more on this viewing. Why?
I feel like I finally. So this was actually my third viewing of this movie. I watched it a while ago with my grandmother.
Which
and
one?
Sandy.
Okay, the one who's could be pulled out of this movie.
Yes, exactly.
You could pick her and her little hat and gloves out of the dinner party scene and,
and
plop
just
her
pop.
into real life.
Well, not really though,
Nice.
because she would never be found around such impropriety back in
no,
the day.
of course not.
She's a good,
Drinking and smoking, I never.
good Christian woman. But I was in high school, probably mid to late high school, and this movie fully went over my head. I did not get it at all. But then when we saw it at the Marion Theater, I liked it a little bit more. And I feel like after this third time, I feel like I finally actually understand the movie.
Yeah.
I caught all the dialogue. The subtitles are helpful. I feel like
She was like, I can't wait to watch this when
With
we can read the words.
subtitles
Yeah.
because it's a little hard to understand.
We're old too. We like to look at our movies and then also hear them with our eyes.
So I don't know. It like finally like it felt like cozy in a way.
Okay.
And I feel like
Yeah.
I finally like I get it. I don't know.
I have a question.
For who?
Does it, for everybody,
Okay.
did it feel like a rom-com? It didn't feel like
In
a
a
rom-com
way, I
to
guess,
No.
but
It wasn't like
just a little bit.
to me, but it is a romantic comedy, or at least what. Hey,
It feels almost
Dog's
like a
digging
coming
to
of
China.
age rom-com or something. Like there's a little bit more happening there.
I don't know what it feels like to me. Like
Yeah,
again,
it's a weird movie. It's got a weird feel, but I enjoyed
It's
it.
a little sad though.
right.
It
It,
is.
almost,
Yeah,
it
it's
almost
kinda
feels
Like, I
like
think more
Holly-
sad than comedy, even though there is bits of comedy.
yeah, it's almost more like third act Casablanca than rom com to me. Second or third act Casablanca, like without as much tragedy and war and like we've got to get out of here and blah blah blah. And frankly, my dear, but it's not
That's an
like
exact quote.
you know, it's not like modern or 2000s, which of course it isn't because that was 60 years later, 40, 50 years later. But and I know I just don't get like knee
Yeah.
slap
I
like
feel like it's more of a lighthearted drama than a
Right.
romantic comedy.
right.
And it's only lighthearted because Holly is so like flighty and just bizarre in a way.
Yeah.
Like her story is actually really tragic.
Yeah, right. She
Honestly.
escapes Texas. She's a child
She was a
bride.
child bride.
14 years
Yeah.
old, married, bones out, changes her name, goes to New York because she's so innocent, we'll say, dumb. She ends up with weird odd jobs just getting money from men, but she's not a prostitute. In fact,
So some people
Yeah.
say she is.
really?
I
You
like
think
to
she's boning?
Well, I don't know if there's a difference between like a sex worker versus like a call girl or like an escort. So I don't know if she's like
Well, the difference is
you sleep with one.
no. The difference is money. It's you know, prostitutes are street corners and dudes in cars waving $50 bills. Call girls.
They go
are-
to like
Yeah, people that have cocaine in a container, you know, like not in a baggie.
yeah. But she's some sort of escort. I don't want to think that she's like
I don't
Yeah.
think so because
Sleeping with
she's
that?
like
I mean, Paul absolutely was, right?
That's
yes,
why
Paul was.
That's
Yeah.
why I'm not sure that she was because they very carefully make Paul the person that gets paid for sex, and she
Yeah.
doesn't explicitly. But I don't know.
Well, and there's that one point where she's running away from a guy that she
Right.
was with, and he's like banging on the door, like, "Come on, baby."
All
So
right,
I
you're
think
right,
she's some
yeah.
sort of like, you know, I'll spend the evening with you, flirt it up, but then she's like, no.
Yeah, I thought she was kind of a tease in that regard.
right,
yeah.
Like,
but maybe
yeah.
not like purposefully manipulative about it. Like I don't know. I don't know how to take her. I don't know.
I
If
feel like
she's
she
an
knows what
idiot.
she's doing, but she plays aloof. What did the guy say
Right.
that he was? What did juror number one say?
Is she a
He
phony
was
or
like,
is she
she's
not?
a phony, but she's a real phony.
Yeah.
She believes all this stuff.
Oh man, and I guess like it must be because Marilyn Monroe didn't take it because playing a lady of the evening would have been bad. So maybe I'm an idiot and she's a prostitute. But hey,
I didn't take it as that.
she's got class.
I think they, like you're saying, they went out of their way to make you or to like show you that she's running from that. Like she just wants she wants all the money from it,
Yeah.
but
well,
she wants to leave him at the door.
if she is, Nick and I will be in the corner with the wool
Yep.
firmly over our eyes. Not her little Audrey. She's too pure.
I know she can't. It's not Audrey Hepburn. She could never.
When we were dating, you had a lot of Audrey Hepburn shit in your apartment. What
Yes.
gives with that?
I feel like it is a canon event for
Like, all right.
every young woman.
Like we're talking like she had this like green canvas with like shit glued all over it and an Audrey Hepburn quote done
I
in
did.
Sharpie and she had like
No. It was
Paint?
a high class. Like, yeah, I painted it.
Writing her name on your wall in Sharpie.
No. So I like glued all these like fashion like and jewelry accessory things together into a collage, and then I put the Audrey Hepburn quote over top of it.
you had some pictures
It
too.
was cute. I had
Which
a bit.
quote?
It's long. I won't.
It's long.
I don't want to go over it. I my freshman dorm, I had a big like pink Audrey Hepburn poster of her like from this movie, like
the
with
cigarette on
with
the
the
stick.
cigarette, and I think Kat was in it.
Yep.
So like Audrey Hepburn was a whole thing. I had sunglasses in that shape. It's just a canon event. You have to become obsessed with Audrey Hepburn.
Okay.
You know? I had a Paris themed bathroom. It's just what you did.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was Audrey Hepburn and then the Eiffel Tower was everywhere. And you had never been yet.
But I did go.
But you did go.
So I'm not
but you hadn't been yet.
a phony.
But you were.
But I was like 17.
You were a
So
self-realizing
I was working my way
fraud.
there.
Yeah.
I was self-realizing.
You were a French fraud.
Wow.
Dang.
But I don't know what it it is. I think she just like
Is it just because you hadn't seen a million Hepburn movies?
I
Was it
hadn't
just-
seen any at that point.
This is stolen valor in every sense.
She
Audrey
just-
Hepburn everywhere had seen nothing. You got the quote probably from a Pinterest board.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and then the Eiffel Tower. So it was all hogwash.
She just like represents this ideal of like elegant lady, and you want to aspire to be her.
Here, but
You
she
want to be that.
for all you
But
know,
not enough to watch a movie.
Yeah, for all you know, in her movie, she could have been just an obtuse bastard. You would have had no idea.
Nah, I wouldn't know. She wouldn't have the like, you know. I can't
So-
think of
so
words.
it's
if
what-
she was a bad person in her movie.
Reputation.
It was more of
Thank
what
you.
Audrey Hepburn represented,
Yes.
fashion-wise and image-wise.
Yes.
Culturally.
Yeah.
Not necessarily her actual roles. Which I get the same from who's the dude that died in the Porsche accident? James Dean. Like I
Yeah.
don't know a damn thing about James Dean. He died at like 26 or whatever, and yet he's this huge.
James
like,
Dean.
AFI has him like at number
haven't seen a
8 or
single
something on
movie
the
of
top
his.
100. No, I couldn't tell you
Yeah.
one, but I know his name. I know what his car looked like that he
what's the
died in.
movie?
Like I've
Well, Without
don't-
a Cause?
Maybe.
That's like his big one, right?
I think
I've
so.
no bloody
Sure.
idea. No idea.
I need to add that to the list.
We should. We
I
should
think
watch
it's
a James
on
Dean.
the list. It might
I
be.
don't know. Rebel Without a Cause, you
I
said?
think it's on the list. Anyways, it is on the list. Anyways.
Oh, it is on the list.
Yes, it
well,
is.
good
Nice.
God, we'll watch some. bloody
Ryan
James
Gosling
Dean.
mentions it in La La Land, so of course it's on the list.
La La Land.
Yeah.
Very good.
So good.
Very good movie. Very.
Isn't Ryan Gosling in Star Wars now or something?
He is going to get a Star Wars movie, and you know what? I give so little, like I don't care so much about Star Wars
I should've
post
brought it up.
2005 that I'm for it. Because like the early Star Wars premonition, which is why George Lucas was hesitant to cast Harrison Ford in the original, was I don't want any known names apart from Harrison Ford and obviously, oh my God, Ben Kenobi, help.
Ben
Ewan
Kenobi.
McGregor.
Alec
Alec?
Guinness, Sir Alec
bad.
Guinness, yes. But you can have a famous person when he's like, you know, the old wizened mentor guy. But other than that, all new young actors who hadn't been in anything. And like that's why it's a little bit weird for me when you've got Lizzo and Jack Black in The Mandalorian. Like it's like,
Yeah.
well, now we're just going like, remember this famous person? No, they're in Star Wars, duh. And that sucks. But I don't care anymore. So screw it. Put Ryan Gosling in
Go
all the
off.
Star Wars movies. Yeah. Make him a Jedi and have his name just be Ryan Gosling.
Or just Ken.
Yeah.
Reference another
Oh my
IP.
God, Ken
Ryan Gosling
at-
as Ken in Star Wars.
Star Wars. I would
He can
watch
cast
that.
Force Casa House. I don't give a shit anymore.
Oh my God. The
Star Wars,
Death,
Star Wars isn't
I
for
would watch
me.
that.
Mojo Dojo Death Star.
Yeah, the Mojo Death Star Casa Force.
Casa Force.
I force.
Mojo Dojo Dark
This is
Side.
the best podcast ever made.
This Ken's job is
man.
Force.
This Ken's job. is Jedi.
Four.
All right. I have some facts. Let's go through some of them.
Yes.
All right. So film wise, this is a quick one. Most of the exterior shots were filmed in New York City, but all interior locations were filmed on the Paramount lot in LA, with the exception of some portions of the Tiffany and Co. internal shots were filmed on
Okay,
location.
okay.
Have you been there?
I've been outside.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't. I'd
But
be
yeah.
terrified to walk in.
Again,
We don't have
so
nearly as many commas in our bank account. to go
when
on
I
Tiffany.
was stealing my valor,
Well,
as
you only
you
need
said,
$10.
That's true. You only need $10.
You know how much that is, by
They
the
seem
way?
to be very
You guys know?
accommodating.
You know
It was
what's
like 100.
107
Oh wow! I cannot believe that.
for a rotary
Wow.
phone silver thing. You just if you can't bear to put your fingers in the disgusting dials, you need a silver thing to do it. I looked online from last night, and they're selling for like $450, like the antique ones, and
Holy
they're
cow.
all engraved with random people's monograms. So engraving must have been like a hell of a thing at Tiffany and Co.
Yeah.
For real. And they're still in that building, and that's the original headquarters. Like, yeah,
Wow.
I didn't expect.
awesome.
I guess I don't really know like what Tiffany is other than just jewelry. Like I was picturing like a mall jewelry shop,
you
and
would-
then they panned to the actual Tiffany shop. I was like,
Yeah,
holy,
you're expecting
holy crap.
Zales or Jared's.
Yeah.
No, it's a multi-story deal. And correct me if I'm wrong. They're known for their silver,
Yes.
and they do way more than just jewelry. There are lamps, right?
Lamps.
Like if you watch Antiques
I
Roadshow,
love
you
lamps.
can't swing a cat in an Antiques Roadshow episode without hitting a Tiffany and Co. something or another.
Huh.
So, like, right? They're like a huge deal.
Yeah, they are.
So,
Very expensive.
They have their signature blue.
yeah. They do, don't they?
Yes, everything is the robin's egg blue.
It's probably they probably have their own Pantone color.
They do, yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm certain of it.
I don't know what it is, but I know they have like
I would have bet
their
my house
Pantone.
on that.
Yeah.
So according to reports, there's a bunch of differing reports on differing aspects of this film, and I'll go through a couple.
Okay.
But one of them involves the opening shot, which is filmed, of course, on location in New York City, right outside
gotta
Tiffany
be.
and Co., where she's eating the pastry. Blah blah blah.
Because you got to get the name somewhere.
Breakfast at Tiffany's. It's right there, right? According to one report, the film's on-location opening sequence outside Tiffany & Co. was extremely difficult to shoot due to issues related to crowd control. It's New York City. Makes sense. Hepburn's dislike of pastries.
Who doesn't like a pastry?
Audrey Hepburn, apparently.
That's why she's so skinny.
And, well, she's so skinny because of the cocaine. And
I got to get on some of that.
and an accident that nearly resulted in the electrocution of a crew member.
Oh.
Did not
Oh my god.
clarify beyond that. I was just reading Wikipedia. I don't have like a novel
such a
called The Making of.
Seemingly simple shot.
However, another contradicting report claims that the sequence is captured rather quickly owing to an unexpected lull in city traffic. Now listen. What am I going to believe more? That it took a long time because of pedestrian activity around a shot involving a very, very famous Audrey Hepburn. I mean, a lot of the movies you mentioned were 6, 7, 8, 10
True.
years older than this.
Oh,
Yep.
true. Yeah.
And that she didn't like pastries, so she's like, yuck, in between each shot. Or,
I think the crowd made her nervous too.
right, or, lucky us, the crowd's thin, the scene was so easy. I'm going to believe the first one. I just am. I don't know. So, that's funny.
I
though.
can't believe she doesn't like pastries. That's crazy.
Yeah, well, everybody likes a pastry. Right?
Yeah.
I love a pastry.
Who wouldn't turn down a delicious, flaky croissant?
Especially one from New York. It's probably so good.
A New York
Oh yeah.
Croissant. Delicious.
Did I talk about the book already?
Yes, you
Marilyn
did.
Monroe, Paramount, the filming. Yes. What about the music?
I like the music.
Moon River
It's a classic.
is our highlight song. All right,
Yes, it is.
I like
That's the only one I remember, really.
right.
Yeah.
Other than
Everything
that,
else
really,
is-
it's just a score. Like even the beginning
Okay.
shot that we talked about, the underlying instrumentation is Moon River, just an instrumental version. Moon River is.
I had no idea that she could sing though. So that was
she
yeah,
sang
same.
in Funny
Surprise.
Girl.
her funny face.
Funny
Funny
face.
face.
sorry.
Funny Girl is Barbara Streisand. It's very different.
Okay.
Oh.
Funny
And they
face.
definitely sang in Funny Girl.
So, Moon River was written. I'm familiar with the song. Very familiar with the song because of Frank Sinatra's cover, which was done in a 1964 album called Sinatra Sings Days of Wine and Roses, Moon River, and Other Academy Award Winners, which this was. I'll get to that in a minute. Moon River was written specifically for this film and specifically for Audrey Hepburn. It was written with her limited vocal range in mind. Not
I've thought about singing it because it's so simple.
yeah,
Like-
not an insult to Audrey, just a fact from the internet.
That's what happens.
And it was inspired by songs that she performed in 1957's Funny Face. Does that scan having seen Funny Face?
Yes.
Okay.
I've wanted to get you to watch Funny Face.
I would watch it.
before. It's good because you also need to see a Fred Astaire movie.
Yes, I do. So the song was written. It was orchestrated or composed rather by one person, lyrics written by another. Okay, so Henry Mancini composed the piece. He also composed the Pink Panther theme.
Oh,
Ooh.
So the guy that wrote Moon River wrote the. So he's
what a guy, a genius. Yeah.
He knows what he's doing. Yeah.
In the mid 70s, he wrote a song. I don't remember which for a film. Don't remember which, but I do remember that it was performed by John Williams. So
Okay.
Dang.
I know I've heard the name Henry Mancini before.
right. So he composed the piece and was quoted as saying, "It took me time to figure out what Holly Golightly was all about. I don't drink much, but I was sipping, and it came to me one night. I wrote the song in half an hour."
Wow.
Dude is
It came to me
sitting
one night.
in his armchair somewhere, or perhaps in front of a piano, with a cocktail, probably with vermouth in it, thinking about Audrey Hepburn, and he just goes,
I got it.
Got it.
and in 30 minutes bangs out Moon River. That is talent, dude.
And then he just kind of wipes his hands. He's like, all right,
Let's see what
that's
this
done.
alcohol's about.
Yeah.
I think I got
He probably took an enormous drag from an unfiltered cigarette with Christ knows what in it and just had a night after that. You know what I mean? Licked it, rolled it, puffed it, and went, good job. Henry.
All the smoking in this movie looked so
Oh my
cool.
God.
You said something.
Can you imagine smoking in your bed?
No.
Oh,
Can't.
Can you imagine being in your bed,
No.
having just gotten paid for coitus, and then there's a rap on your window, and the most beautiful woman on planet Earth just goes and opens the window, climbs into your house, goes
In a robe.
wearing like a bathrobe or
in a
something.
bathrobe. You're wearing
Yeah.
nothing but what the Lord gave you.
Your birthday suit.
Yeah. And whatever carpet came pre-installed downstairs
Pre-installed.
under a sheet, right? Audrey Bloody Hepburn walks in, offers to make you a drink, lights a cigarette for you and her, and then goes, "Do you mind if we climb in bed?" And then falls asleep on your chest as you click the
You
lights
look like
off.
my brother.
Huh? And you're just like, another day in New York City.
Ah, that's what happens. I
60s were a
guess.
crazy time.
60s were a crazy time. So the lyrics for Blue River, I just had a stroke. The lyrics for Moon River were written by Johnny Mercer, who reminisced on his childhood picking huckleberries in the summer and connected that experience to his carefree childhood in the book by Mark Twain, Huckleberry Fit. It was originally called Blue River because that's what color huckleberries were.
Oh my God.
No idea why it was changed. I have no idea other information other than that. That's just what the internet said. So
Okay.
pretty cool.
The internet is always right.
There was talks. So they did a test preview for the film in San Francisco, California. And I don't know if it was super successful. There was audience feedback some way or another. And there were talks of cutting the song and replacing it with a song, perhaps a different song sung by somebody else, or the same song sung by somebody else. It's not entirely clear to me. This did not go well. There are many various reports as to who refused. Was it Henry? Was it whoever? I've only included the funnest one because in my brain this is real because it's so fun. So varying degrees of protest from Audrey Hepburn. One account having her respond with "over my dead body," and other accounts with more colorful language that was not included.
Oh.
But apparently she was so fond of the song and scene that she was
It
like, if you
just-
cut that out, I'll kill
yeah.
you with a gun
It
or
just
something.
fits. It's the whole vibe of the movie.
It
Like,
is. And I heard the song described as it is a romantic song, but the romantic partner it's being sung about is romance itself. Which is just some fluffy 60s hogwash, but I really dig that. It's a romantic song just about nobody but romance,
About
Just about love, man.
which is cool. I do like the Sinatra version.
So dope.
It is a little not late, but mid-late Sinatra being in '64. But that's the version I'm most fond of. I think there's an Andy Williams, the dude that's like synonymous with Christmas. I believe he sang it as well.
And I liked how they put this song into the film because it starts with the camera on what's his face,
Yep.
the guy, and
You're talking the primary performance where she's singing with the
Yeah, yeah,
guitar
yeah,
outside of
yeah.
the window. Yeah.
but it starts with him, and I'm going, oh, it's just a song that's playing during the movie, like in the soundtrack, and then it pans down to her. I'm like, because I was like, Carl, like I didn't even realize she could sing, so I was like, holy crap, this is crazy.
She's leaning out, playing it on guitar,
Yeah.
playing something on guitar. She clearly knows bar chords. But I don't know if she was playing. I was half tempted to like pause the film and go get a guitar and just play what she was playing and see if it made any sense. Maybe I'll do that one day. But she at least knew some bar chords. So, somebody showed her something or another. Maybe she was playing it. I'm not going to be the asshole that accuses her of not, but it at least wasn't, there are some movies where I'm like, they ain't playing
They ain't doing
jack
nothing.
crap up there. But unsure here. So, Blue River won the Oscar for Best Song after this came out. Mancini took home another, he composed it. He took home another Oscar for Best Music Score of a Dramatic or Comedy Picture. It also won 5 Grammys and a Laurel Award. So the song
Okay.
was decorated
wow.
as hell. Audrey Hepburn, I believe, won an Oscar for her
I
performance, and
think
there were other
it's
awards.
like one of the top 4, like the AFI's like most like influential movie
is.
songs. It's like
Wow.
top 4 or
It's
something.
very
like that.
high up.
Yeah.
Very high up.
Do they still do Laurel Awards? I haven't heard of that one.
I'm not sure. I don't know what it is.
They're
I wrote
called
it down.
Yanny now.
Oh. Okay.
God.
It took me a second. No, I'm not sure
Well
what that
done.
is. And so we started recording this at 8, and it was like 8:02 when I wrote that fact in and ran out of time to do more research. So I don't know, look up a Laurel Award. Maybe it's still whatever. So I don't have a lot of notes about the plot, but there's a couple things. There's one thing really that sticks out about me, about the plot to me, and it's how just broke my microphone. It's how pissed off I get at the end of the movie because when she kicks the cat out of the car, I remember being in the theater and being like, I want to walk out of this movie because that is just unbelievable.
Villain behavior.
This alley looks as good as any. Get out, cat! Scram! And the cat bones out, and it's raining, and I'm just like balled fists, like I'm gonna dig up Audrey Hepburn and kill her again. Like, I just hate that scene, and the fact that the book ends with that, and then just goes, "It's in the way that you use it," is insane to me. Because at least in the movie, she kicks the cat out. What's his face? Our dude,
Paul.
piece narrator, Paul. He like gives her the 9th degree about whatever, and is
She
like,
built her.
already-
She's in her own cage.
Yeah.
You'll never be free.
and then like, here I've been carrying around this for months, and I don't want it anymore. And gives her the Cracker Jack ring that he had taken to Tiffany, who was all like, ugh, peasant swine in my blue Tiffany. And has Tiffany engrave it, and he's been carrying it around, and he loves her, and she's like, to that, and he gives her the ring, and then she's like, oh, I'm being a bitch. Leaves all of her blood. This, by the way, the poor cab driver.
He's just trying to drive
Stop
her
on
around.
this corner, kick a cat out. Stop on this corner, I'm getting out. Stop on the 3rd corner, I'm also getting out. And then goes back to Paul, who's looking for the cat, which I'm like, Paul's my guy, dude. Go get that cat. I don't even like cats. I hate cats.
But you're so sad you
You
see him in the
can't
rain.
Kick a cat out. That should be like, I should be, if I see somebody kick a cat out of a car into an alley, I should be able to kill that person with a gun. Like, that's how strongly I feel about that. Paul's looking for the cat. She gets the cat. They kiss in the rain, and life's a good one. But the cat scene, I don't know about y'all, but oh my God.
Cat to you.
It's the same thing with Llewyn Davis, man. When the cat gets lost, I'm like, ugh. Like, it's just horrible to me. I don't know what it is. I
You
just
like
pets.
animals.
So, also the lady at the party. There's a lady in the party that is laughing into a mirror hysterically
So good.
at,
So good.
at her reflection, and I turned to Danielle and went, "I've been that before." And then like 30 seconds
Moments
later,
later.
it cuts back to her, and she's like sobbing in the
sobbing.
same
A full
mirror,
mess.
just to herself. And I'm
Yeah.
like, "I've been there too."
Mascara
That
running.
that laugh in the mirror is every time I go in the bathroom in Mutiny.
Yeah, I was at yeah, exactly. I was at our buddy Joe's house once for a wrestling event, and I lost my phone in his couch, but I was checking the toilet, I checked his fridge, I checked the chicken wings for my mirror, and I was just like, I gotta find my phone, and I ripped his couch up, and then I found my phone. But that was my laughing in the mirror moment, is losing my phone and
Losing your
checking
phone.
chicken wings. Oh, by the way, I had a lot of, not a good beverage. I had Natural Light Natter Days and got that
my
Oh
sloppy.
my God.
On Natter Days, a drink that I can't drink anymore because it's so syrupy. It's disgusting. I lost my wedding ring.
Oh my God, we're not
divorce.
even
I found it.
married.
I found it. We're remarried.
Okay,
So.
okay, it's cool.
Anybody else have standout scenes though from the film? Those are mine. It's just the cat and the drunk lady in the mirror. The rest of the movie just washed over me. I don't know.
I mean, that cigarette stem holder she had at that party
so
was like
long.
2 feet long. It was insane.
Yeah, like those.
That was crazy.
I always think of,
What's the point?
so Danielle asked that
Fancy.
question, and I can think of 2 reasons. One, perhaps to keep the smell off your lips, maybe a little bit,
Yeah.
or in pipe smoking, there's a myth. It's not true that the longer the stem, the cooler the smoke. So it could be to like the hope is that as it travels
It
down
makes
a
sense,
distance,
though.
it's a little cooler. But
Yeah.
I believe I read something like, yeah, in order to actually effectively cool smoke from like the actual ember to your mouth, it would have to be many yards long, like a long, long thing, and then you'd be like trying to draw the smoke in.
What if you draw just real slow?
Yeah, I have no idea.
Just like
No
take 30
idea.
seconds.
But they're
This
super.
week
Or maybe
on
it's maybe it's to
Mythbusters.
keep the smoke off your fingers too.
Yeah, I figured it was
I could see
smell
that.
related,
But what?
but it's not that far away.
Whatever the reason, it always makes me think of Cruella de Vil.
Yes.
It looks
Yeah.
cool.
Definitely.
It looks cool. Smoking is cool.
It's cool.
Yeah.
It just is, dude. Then you're
Wish
like,
it was real.
everybody looks so
I
classy.
know they do.
But then you smoke a cigarette in real life and you're like, my mouth tastes like
This
an
is
asshole.
terrible.
It did
Yeah.
bother me, the cigarette in the bed, because I'm like, you're gonna get your sheets are gonna smell.
Well, no, there's the
Yeah.
old, like, there's the tales of people smoking in bed, falling asleep, and then burning alive.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oof.
that's bad.
Yeah. That's like there's a lot of the spontaneous combustion myth that people just light on fire and that's that. But it's almost always started by a cigarette, which completely burns up in the fire. So it's like quote unquote untraceable. But you'll see a lot of, I've read a lot of stories of like firemen, and it'll be like living rooms, and it's just a person in an easy chair, dead, like a cloth easy chair, because they fell asleep with a cigarette in their hand, and it just that was that.
Dang.
So yeah, it's crazy.
There's one scene during that party scene where she's like in a towel dress thing, and we were like, "What is
Yeah.
that?"
Yeah,
I read that it is in fact a towel, and
What?
there was a deleted scene where she was in the bath and had to like get out and get ready quickly, and she just like made a dress out of a towel.
So that's the big party, the big one that all the cops get called on for. And very, very early, like as soon as Paul shows up, there is a scene where she's like in a freaking towel. And I'm like, that's a towel.
This is a towel.
But that's hilarious. It was a towel, and there's
Yeah.
a removed scene. Very cool.
She is truly the worst neighbor.
Yeah.
She is
Can
the
you
worst.
imagine
Yeah.
that big of a party in an apartment building?
Yeah.
It's a small apartment.
Like Mickey Rooney, as racist as he is in this movie, he's
Right.
he's got a point.
Rightfully.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a decision that
Yeah,
was.
that's
Would
the
it have been
most-
better?
We got to talk about that. So,
Like-
so Mickey Rooney is a famed actor, famed vaudevillian actor
Yeah.
of yore. And for whatever reason in this movie, they were like, let's give him gigantic teeth, make him squint, and have him be an Asian guy. Huh?
And you know what?
Huh?
He committed.
Oh, he did.
He definitely committed.
But you can tell this was before like civil rights and all that stuff. Because boy, is he like Miss Right? We're like it's crazy. It's crazy. I remember.
What kind of pictures is he taking up there?
I don't know. But I remember the ones from friggin' was it? Is it Kill Bill? There's a Tarantino where it's a sexy like photo-y kind of deal. I think it's one of the Kill Bill.
don't remember.
And Asian studio and naked chicks and stuff.
Good
but
Lord.
yeah, I don't know, but it's wild. I remember being in the Marion Theater and texting Forrest like, you sure are screening a movie with one of the most racist portrayals that I've ever seen, perhaps since Tropic Thunder, and this is way worse. This is worse than Robert Downey Jr. in blackface. That's how bad Mickey Rooney is. All that's I meant to like put if you're gonna watch Breakfast at Tiffany's, buckle up for Mickey Rooney.
They have all gone on record and like apologized. Like the director's been like, I wish I could redo that. Like I wish we could have not done that. Like they've all been like,
he could have just been a grumpy Brooklyn guy.
Yeah.
But nah, dude. Let's make him the most racist caricature. Like,
And also make him say the name Holly Golightly,
yeah,
which is just hysterical.
a name with lots
God.
of L's.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It could only have been worse if he carried chopsticks and a gong. Like, it's unbelievable.
He
I
did
feel
have
like
a
at
gong.
one point he hit his head on a gong.
Yeah,
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 I don't know.
Yeah, it's
It's bad.
The race stuff aside,
Hey,
the
wait,
the physical comedy was really good. But
except
yeah,
for the
it's-
fact that it was also racist. He wakes up at
Yeah,
one
it was
point in
also
bed.
racial.
He
You
wakes
can't
up
really
in bed,
separate
jolts upright, and bashes his head on a paper lamp, and you're like, "Come on, dude! Come on!" It's not movie ruining because you can at least I can kind of go. It's of its time,
different-
6
yeah.
years ago.
but wow,
It's
it's
bad.
really bad, dude. It's really bad,
and it's the only thing like that in this movie.
yeah, it's out of place.
Completely out of place.
It's out of place. They're like, I know it's funny, some racism. And it just isn't. It's just appalling.
We need some comedy.
You're definitely in 2024, 2025. You're definitely watching that laughing because it's so uncomfortable, not because it's
Not because it's
slappingly
funny.
hilarious. All right. Let's see. We went over a lot of my questions already, except for Nick's,
Oh, hit me.
which was just, slower paced film. Were you bored?
No. I couldn't
Really?
be bored. I couldn't get distracted by my phone because it was strapped to my face.
You need to watch every movie.
Every movie.
Oh my god.
Because we were kind of going, it's really slow. I don't know if Nick's going to like it.
No, as I typically do, I didn't research anything going into it.
That's smart.
So a lot of the slow pace, I was going, all right, where is this going? And that's kind of like to my detriment sometimes, because I was going, okay, well, the lady that the guy is with, she's married to this husband. Who is he? Because it like shows him off camera. I'm like theorizing all these different things that totally wasn't it.
Yeah.
But aside from that, I was happy.
Yeah, really the thing the plot is building towards is the stalker being her husband and all that jazz at the end, which at least gives it a little bit of intrigue. But that comes in the last 40 minutes of a movie, which, by the way, this is kind of a long one for an old film, which is a weird thing to say.
It's just
from,
2 hours,
from
though, right?
a group that's watched Seven Samurai and Gone with the Wind. But I was expecting it to be 90 minutes, and it's just under 2 hours.
Yeah.
If I would have had to guess, I would have thought Carl would have liked this movie, and I didn't think you would.
Yeah.
So I'm surprised.
But all
I'm
of us
happy.
did, right? I think. Well, we'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Does anybody have anything? I'm out of notes. Does anything have anybody have anything else they want to bring? Jesus, what?
Take a breath.
Before we move on?
I don't think
No,
so.
we didn't really talk about her weird husband situation, but
It's
that is what it is.
We-
The guy
we
from
touched on a little bit.
Beverly
Yeah.
Hillbillies.
She got married at 14 in Texas to this nerd, and he's got other children. And then she was like, "F this,"
Children.
and boned out. And,
Lula May.
Yeah, was that her name?
Yeah.
Lula May.
Lula May.
I'm not Little May anymore.
I wasn't very gripped by her brother, that whole storyline.
No.
Fred.
That was a weird thing too, because she says you remind me of my brother, and then she's like hooking up with him.
Yeah.
Is this West Virginia?
I like that the mob guy can only think of
Is
him
this
as Fred
Clueless?
Baby.
Yeah.
Fred Baby.
And that she was passing
kind of
messages to
clueless.
the mob.
Why? Yeah. And then
Just
Is
unknowingly, like,
Breakfast at Tiffany's clueless?
she is clueless. I don't know. I think she's not as clueless as we're led to believe.
her
But
apartment's
neither
very
was Clueless Lady. She kind of knew what she was doing.
Yeah. Her apartment's very funny in the beginning. She's got no furniture. Her couch is a bathtub,
Bathtub.
sawed in half.
I really dig her couch. That's
Oh,
cool.
yeah.
Oh, my
yeah.
gosh. So
yeah, what did you say?
really early on, she's sitting in the bathtub. She's kind of just walking around. She's talking to the cat. And I was like, is this Carl? I was just like, kind of kooky out there. Got a cat.
Just like,
Dish liquid.
single people shit. Like not real furniture, phones just in a box. 'cause
Yeah,
it makes it
I really
quieter.
resonated with her apartment because I was just like, oh god, that's what my apartment looks like. There's just
Yeah.
stuff on the floor still. I was just like, oh god, am I?
She's
am I
got
Audrey
booze,
Hepburn?
but it's gone.
yeah.
And then later she dates a guy with money, so her
Good
apartment's
problems to have.
full of stuff, but she doesn't know how to do anything, so she just explodes chicken all over the place, and they're like, let's go out because you just hit the ceiling with chicken.
Yep.
So, but yeah, it's a groovy place. Little brownstone building in New York.
Ah,
Very cool. Well,
he's so cool.
hit, mid, or myth? We don't have hot points this week because we couldn't be bothered.
He's pretty cute, though.
Yeah, I like him as
I like him.
guy.
Fred
I liked
Paul?
him a lot.
He does a little bit of the, you wouldn't do that today. The whole grabbing her, not letting her go.
You
to
do
the
belong to
library,
me.
And,
Yeah.
that's a little heavy-handed.
Yeah.
But
He
that's,
gives her the powder room money. Like, oof.
again,
deep
that's
cut.
Powder room money.
again, that's just the era, though. Like, you can't really be like, what a controlling
No.
freak, because
He's
know.
also like, I love you. Why won't you talk to me? Why are you being like? She's being weird. Like she won't
Yeah.
talk to him. So I mean, I get it. On one hand, he's just trying to be like, hey, what's going on?
all of that
Yeah, and
is
he's
nice.
like ending his other relationships and like doing the right,
Right.
thing eventually.
oh yeah, with the
He's taking steps, and
the
she won't meet him
decorator,
halfway.
if you will.
yeah,
the
he's decorated.
The decorator.
Well, shall we do hit, mid, or miss,
Yeah.
and then pick a new film?
Yeah.
I'll go first. I like it.
You like it?
I didn't like it as much this time. I don't know why. I don't really tend to rewatch a lot of things unless they really, really grab me. And this, obviously, I really enjoyed the first viewing, but we touched on it earlier. It didn't quite hold up as much, but it's still a hit. It's enjoyable, chill. Aside from the end, which again, the cat stuff just bothers the hell out of me. And
They
then
resolve it.
but it resolves so quickly that I don't really get to sit with it. But that gives the ending a little bit of like sticking power. So I'm not gonna fault it for that. I don't really blame it for anything other than the yellow face, which is just unbelievable. But unbelievable in a like I can't believe they used to do stuff like that back then kind of way. So no, it's an enjoyable movie. I like Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Oh,
It's good. It's good.
I'm the opposite with the ending.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the ending.
Yeah.
I like how it put
I think it's a good ending.
'Cause,
Let
like-
me say that. But it's
yeah,
just
because
like,
it puts all the cards on the table at the end, and he's like, He's been so good to her, and then he finally just explodes on her in the cab.
Right, fellas? I'm just kidding.
Yeah, the phrasing. Jeez.
I wasn't even going to that angle. He explodes on her in the cab.
What the? Right, fellas?
Well, sometimes you do everything for a lady. And
Yeah,
like,
okay.
What the hell,
Fair.
dude? Right?
I don't know. I'm single.
Yeah.
Anyways, I liked it. It's a hit.
Yeah.
Yay.
Nick, Carl? I mean, Nick's
I
right
can't
there.
remember the explodes in the cab.
Yeah.
No, I really enjoyed it. I'm glad that one that I wanted to see lived up to its expectations. Yeah, I thought Audrey Hepburn was just enchanting,
Audrey?
and I want to see more of her. Was it
Audrey.
Audrey? God dang, my bad. I've been doing that all day. I keep wanting to say Aubrey Plaza, but that's not the right thing. Audrey Hepburn. I think she's just great. I want to see more stuff she's in, and I liked it. It's iconic. Hit.
All right. What about you?
It's
This is your third viewing, yeah?
Third viewing, yes. It's a hit for me. No, I think it's a great movie. I get why it's one of those classic movies that you're like, you should watch.
Right.
And just like what Carl said, Audrey Hepburn's so enchanting and just, I just feel like you believe it. Like Holly Golightly's such a crazy character, but like you buy into it. Like it makes sense.
Yeah, she pulls it off.
So no, it's a hit for me.
All right.
It's cool to look at. The fashion's fun. The music's good.
I forgot those little like AirPod earplugs she had
AirPod
in the very
earplugs.
beginning. Those were sick. We got to bring those back.
But how practical were they? Because they're earplugs with a dangly
so dangly.
thing.
Yeah.
I feel like that just like impressing your cheek and bum you out.
Yeah, you'd have to sleep like a mummy, just face up, but you wouldn't hear anything, and you'd look so fashion.
Well, there you go. So fashion. Speaking of fashion, you must have not got the memo about the uniform.
On Wednesdays we wear
For
pink.
the past 3 years.
For the listeners, the three of us in this room are all wearing black t-shirts and jeans, which happens a lot with Nick and I, but not often with Danielle as well. So
Well, I was trying to
got the
be a little
Hepburn.
black. I've got a little pearl, a little pigtail.
yeah, we're fresh off the set of Grease.
I didn't. Wait.
That's in the bucket. We're gonna watch Grease.
Dirty
this year.
Dancing's the one I didn't watch. Those two movies are the same in my head. by the
They're
way.
Oh,
very different.
Wow. So yeah, Grease is good. Carry moving on.
Oh my god.
Whose turn is it? I think it's Carl's turn.
I think
Carl.
it is Carl's.
Carl,
Okay,
pick a movie.
Right.
Well, pick a movie.
Any movie.
I have to do it for you. Yeah, any movie.
I'll pick a
Ants.
hand.
Oh my god.
DreamWorks Ants. All right, I've got a movie for the listeners. I got a movie in my left hand and my right. Carl's gonna say a hand, and we will put the other
right.
ticket in the bucket, and not even look at it, and we'll just pick the one he picks.
I'm gonna say your right hand.
So that's this one, just to confirm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm gonna just put that back.
What will it be?
Jesus
Oh my god, it's
That
on
was
the
felt in the
ground.
bucket.
I did see it though. So, Tori, if you're listening, this is a Dan suggestion,
Okay.
and it is Treasure Planet.
Okay.
Which is
Alright.
the movie I was hoping we would pick when
when we pulled Atlantis.
when we pulled Atlantis. So Treasure Planet, Nick, is a Disney film from the early 2000s, I believe,
Yes.
around the same
Joseph
time.
Gordon-Levitt.
Yes, I think he's the lead. And it is it was one of those movies that just like Atlantis was the coming soon to own on Disney Video and DVD. And you'd see the preview for it all the time before I watched Incredibles for the 1 millionth time. So I'm really excited to watch this. I've heard it's better than Atlantis. So I hope
Okay.
that rings true.
Nice.
I'm hyped.
Carl, have you seen
Hour
it?
35.
I have, but it's been a very long time. But I remember it was kind of like steampunky.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like it had a kind of a cool aesthetic. So yeah, I'm excited to watch it again.
So, Atlantis is in the Earth. Treasure Planet is like, they like space surf or something on like a,
Yeah, it was cool.
the surfboards with like the sail on it, but he's going through the sky. It's like, aesthetically, it's a really cool movie. So it was in that,
It'll look great in VR.
probably, it was in that period where just like Atlantis, Disney was adding CGI in. So you get your flat shot and then your big CGI spatial shot. I'm hoping it's a little less jarring. But this is the one of the two that I feel like everyone in my life has spoken more highly about. So I'm pretty hyped to watch.
interesting.
You said an hour 30 something?
Hour 35.
Let's go.
I'm
Oh,
so
that's nice
excited
to
to watch
hear.
a short movie.
I might watch it twice.
Hey,
Oh.
bring it back, dude. Carl watched the movie 4 times. in a
Return to
row.
form.
We watched one Back to the Future. He watches all million of them. And he's like, these
I had
suck.
to see what the hype was about.
Even though he didn't like
they all
it.
suck.
He didn't like them, and he just kept going.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
Carl
gritted
don't
my
like him.
teeth. I
How
was
dumb.
like, maybe one more and I'll get it. Maybe
No.
one more.
No.
No. Yeah.
They only get worse.
All right, folks.
Yeah.
Treasure Planet
do.
it is. And barring an audio issue, we'll be back next week, and we'll catch you in the next one.